Hello everyone, today we're going to be returning to the Fields of Eternia as we check out Wave 6 from Archon Studio for their Masters of the Universe Battleground. Alright, so the first of the Wave 6 faction boxes we're going to look at is for the Evil Horde faction. So this box contains Leech and Scorpia, the rules, cards and tokens, and even a mud monster. A bit of background about them, and a QR code for assembly and the like. If we pop the box open, we can see, first off, the assembly instructions. So, double page, relatively straightforward. Mud Monster just has an arm, even I can do that. Oh, arm and head. We also have our rulebook for Wave 6, which is gatefold. New special terrain rules, the fighting foemen, heavy weapon attacks and modules, the FAQ for direct fire. So as things get added and expand the rule system for the game, they'll be in here, and I believe also a living rulebook as well. The sprue itself then, for our two characters, is a delightful red colour. Like all of the factions, they are colour coded. So relatively straightforward. Everything is numbered and lettered where required. All the details pretty much on this side, so we'll see how they go together, but Archon's plastics generally work well. And the last thing then is the cards. So we'll get it built up and we'll take a look at it when it's assembled and take a look at the cards then as well. Okay, so I've built Leech and Scorpia. Builds were very simple, didn't need to look at the instructions at all. I will say some of the sprue gates on Scorpia's body, especially in the recesses where sort of leg / second half of a torso is connecting, require a bit of cleanup because the sprue gate's right on the glue join. They do that so they hide a lot of the joins. But it does mean you've got to be more particular with your cleanup, because otherwise you won't get a neat fit of the two halves coming together. She is approximately just under 35 to eye level, and a really nice sculpt. Her cards, if we have a quick look. So she has Hunter's Instinct, choose an ally with Endless Horde skill within 12, make a free move action towards the ally, it cannot be interrupted for 1 mana, and Living Shield, passive, so always on, whenever she's about to be attacked, if that attack can target an ally with Endless Horde skill adjacent to her, you can redirect it to them, so that's great. 4 health, 3 toughness, 2 mind, 2 power, 3 perception, big old 4 in strength, and a 5/8 move on focus. It's a really good stat line. Really good stat line. So the bits of equipment she comes with is Scorpia's tail. So this is standard. No dice modifiers for her attacks. Immediately after an attack, she can spend 1 mana to allow an ally with Endless Horde to interrupt the attacked enemy. Does low damage output, but does have potential to do a debuff. And another one for her that you may want to upgrade is the Dragonfly Crossbow. 12 inch range, +1 die, so that'll push her up to 4. Yeah. If the target is engaged, instead of being decreased, the scope of the attack is increased. So pinning people down and shooting them becomes a valid option. That is horrendous. Again, doesn't have a huge damage output, although the bonus effect of pushing people around can be handy. So that's Scorpia. Leech then. Again, another nice build. I like the gladiatorial style net with him and the big grumpy face. This arm also contains back of the cowl, back of the top of the armor section, so it glues onto one of the body sections before the two body sections go together. If you glue the two, then you'll have a gap where that's supposed to recess into and no way of putting it in. So it does say that on the build instructions, but just make sure you follow them. Again, another nice figure though, tons of detail, and very little in the way of cleanup will be required on them. For Leech himself, he has two abilities. Power Drain. Whenever the enemy within 12 loses or uses mana, Leech gains mana. So he's just a battery sucking away. And stuck to the wall for the cost of 1 mana, he can move over a portion of an adjacent high obstacle. So, a bit gecko-y. That's nasty enough. Bit more of a bruiser. 5 health, only 2 toughness, 2 mind, 2 power, 4 perceptions, great. And 4 strength, also great. So much more a mainline fighter. Still a really good movement though, 5'8". He comes with slug armor as his basic equipment, which gains 1 toughness and 1 mind for every 2 mana in Leech's possession. Leech loses 1 mana after every defense test though, but if he has his maximum of 5, well, he doesn't even need the maximum of 5. Well, I suppose he does, because then it would give him 2 dips at this, because he'll lose a mana right off the bat. He'll get 2 to his toughness, pushing it up to 5? No, pushing up to 4. So he really needs the mana coming in to make him a bit more defensible. And then weapon-wise, he could have the Cursed Axe. If the character has a debuff, attacks with this weapon cost 1 action less to a minimum of 1 and gain 1 die. So using Scorpia to put a debuff on with the Dragonfly Bow from distance, and then he wades in and finishes them off. A bit more of a bruiser. 5 successes needed though to get up to 3 wounds. And then his net, 8-inch range, +1 die, so he's going to go up to 5. And during interruptions, attack with his weapon do not receive the penalty to the scope and cost 1 less to a minimum of 0. So he's very defensive minded. He's the guy who stays nearby Scorpia, and if anybody tries to stop her, he jumps in the way. Net is only really there to put debuffs, so he's going to put crippled onto people, and the target can potentially also lose 2 mana as well. So unusual combination of cards. The ability to both be a mainline fighter, but also a very good support character. The other cards that come in here then, some more Fate deck cards. So 3 initiative buffs available. 5 with a debuff, removal from any of your characters, and a lot of actions on that one as well. It's very good. If this character is any type of endless, gain 1 action and 1 mana, and initiative of 8, this is a massively high card potentially. And then the glory card, again, linking back to the endless keyword. If a card with any type of endless knocks out an enemy, you get 20 VPs. Happy days. There's also a couple of spells. So Magic Push for pushing and pulling people around, and Trick, again, has some nice support connotations. And then finally, there are some equipment or item cards. So some little artifacts decrease your maximum mana by 3. That's terrible. Amulet of Cracks, pass a debuff and a common buff from the ally to this character. So jump onto somebody who is less affected by them. Buzzsaw is disposable. Use it before any test to gain 4 successes, but do not roll any dice. But 4 automatic successes, great. Especially if your opponent isn't rolling a lot of dice contesting you. And finally, there is the Mud Monster, which is this little gentleman here. He's a new piece of terrain. He sets up, and anybody who becomes or moves adjacent to him just ends their go as he grabs them. And they can't move out from there either. He's a little disposable piece of filth. So, that is Scorpia and Leech. Okay, the second box then for our Wave 6 is the Fighting Foemen faction, which is Duggator in a battle ram. God bless him. The back shows you what you're getting, the rules, tokens and cards, along with the figure itself and a big old chunky base, and a bit of background about the battle ram in question. Having a look at what's in the box then. We have instructions, double-sided A5. Should be relatively straightforward, just following the renders. Though to be fair, I've not looked near any of the instructions on any of the builds so far. They've all been very intuitive, very easy. You just clip out the correct number and letter and off you go. So this one doesn't look like it would be particularly taxing. Our Wave 6 rulebook is, again, the same gatefold, so just introducing the exact same rules as the previous box. Then we have our sprue and base. So, big old chunky sprue with that textured base on it as well. Again, everything really finely detailed. Some great detail work on the machine itself, on all the greeblies. Yeah, that should be very, very easy to clip out and put together. Can't see any big chunky sprue gates either. Oh, there's 1 or 2 there that might be a bit problematic, but we'll see when the build comes in. So let's get on, get it built. We'll come back and take a look at the cards then. Now, taking a look at the battle ram. This way forward, you can see a very heavily reinforced front edge, again with the marker so you can tell where you are for flanking, which is nice. These were pre-clipped off. There is a noticeable line running around that would need to be dealt with, but nothing major. Build wise, the battle ram was very quick to do. I remember this from the show. This has got the little serpent on the front. Other ones had like a griffin or lion. So it would either be green for the baddies with a serpent and blue for the good guys with that whatever it was, mythological creature. He sits in there very snugly. Legs, butt, back are all keyed into position, so it can't really go anywhere. And there's, like I say, a wealth of detail on this. You can see all this. So you don't have to paint stuff on. You can just go and look up the old Battle Ram toy and see where it sits, including these ridiculous faces. Boom. So he's a specific... he's not a faction specific. He's a foe. Anybody can bring him to the battle in his battle ram, which is nice. Have a look here. Dog O Tor in battle ram. 6 health, only 2 toughness, 2 mind, 1 power, 5 perception. He's very much sit back and shoot. Can still do damage in combat if he needs to with strength of 4 and a 5/8 move for the focus. He is a vehicle. He ignores the first incoming damage from every attack to a minimum of 0. So, great. And indirect fire, you can place his little token, which they have provided, within 16 inches, and when enemy ends their movement within 2 hexes from it, they must make a defense toughness test. Unless they score at least 2 successes, they're going to receive a wound. So we just set them up to area denial, really. Standard equipment is the Demolisher missile, which is this delightful piece here. 12-inch range, potential to do up to 3 wounds. And again, it's targeting an empty hex, affects all allies and enemies within 2 hexes, and after the attack, remove 1 piece of terrain, so he can level things. I thought it was called a barrage doohickey in the old toy, but anyway, matters not. It also has heavy laser as a potential upgrade. So 12-inch range, -2 dice off it, so drops from 5 down to 3. However, before attacking, you can spend up to 5 mana to gain 1 additional die per mana. So 8. A potential 8 dice. That's a big swing. 4 successes will get you 3 wounds as well. So with people exploding and with heroes with plenty of mana on the go, you may need to use the 8 die to get there. But potential to do a lot of damage. Fate deck for here. We have, again, another blend, high and low, including a during an activation or interrupt. This is the indirect fire, cost 1 action less to a minimum of 1. Kill surprise. And if your vehicle knocks out an enemy, 20 VP. Can't say fairer than that. The equipment that is available. There's an engine boost. So pushing that movement up to 10. Targeting computer. Some reactive armor, which right off the bat gives you protection. And mystic plating. Use it before defense test to attempt with 5 die. I mean, why would you not do that? So there we go. That is the Battleground, Leech, Scorpia, and the Mud Monster. So there we go, folks. 2 interesting boxes. Obviously, the standout has got to be the Battleground. Iconic bit of toy kit from the 80s with had the front part came out with one of the sky sleds where that little snake thing is on. And then somebody could hang off the back as well, which has been all worked into the actual build. It looks just like a better version of that classic toy. It's really weird seeing it miniaturized and improved. But the fact that you now have a vehicle that can level buildings and is available to all factions, once again, changes up the meta, which is always nice to see. And then Leech and Scorpia are a really nice combined pair. They can do a lot of damage. Well, they can do a good amount of damage, but what they can really do is control areas and force your opponent out of the way, or force them at least into conflicts that they don't want to be fighting. And at that point, then they're going to get shot by a dragonfly crossbow. So it's great. But let me know what you think below if you've been playing Masters of the Universe Battleground. Obviously, Archon are very keen on the idea of it being a tournament or a regular play competitively. So the meta is always changing with the waves that come out, and it's nice that balance keeps being moved so that you don't get people just winning one spam list and staying with it forever. But until next time, take care.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.